David Lynn, your Prepper Principal. It is Friday, November the 24th, 2023, 7 p.m. Central Time. And this is another edition of Coffee Talk, number 91, I believe. KP Heathen, thank you for coming in. And Ala Canada. Welcome. 4 in the house, 2 likes. I'm good. Yeah, I know where you're at. It's the next day. Joshua Humphrey, thank you for coming in. Up to me. If it doesn't get hacked again, then Hillbilly Josh. Hello, Hillbilly. Thank you for coming in. Guys, if you would, leave me a like as you're coming in. I would appreciate it. I get to go home Sunday. Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're getting to go home. Thank you for like number 3, Hillbilly. Julie Ann West, thank you for coming in, Julie Ann West. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. You got a weekend coming up, Friday evening. I've been off all this week on Thanksgiving break. One of the benefits of being a teacher, or in education for that matter. Claudette, good to see you in the house. Appreciate you coming in, Claudette. So I've got Claudette from Canada, and I've got Julie Ann West from Wales in the UK. I've also got Ala Canada from the subcontinent of India. A lot of folks from around the world in here. If you are not connected to each other, please feel free to connect. Idaho Garden Girl, thank you for coming in, Idaho Garden Girl. Appreciate you coming in this evening. Hope you're doing well. So I believe, if I understand correctly, Ala Canada is involved in education where she's from. Is that right, Ala Canada? You teach? I think Heathen might have said hello and snuck out. I don't know, bus stop. It's a camouflage shirt. I wear it sometimes. I've got one the short sleeve. I've got one this long sleeve. I don't really wear a lot of camouflage, but today I thought I'd wear a camouflage shirt. Very comfortable. Wash and wear. 8 in the house, 8 likes. Well, let me show you something else. I've been buying a lot of stuff. I've been ordering a lot of stuff for Black Friday. This is one of my orders. I will plan on taking this out, using it, and I will, demonstrate it. I'll boil some water with it. Very small. Paid a little over $10 for it. It is an emergency stove, and you use fuel tabs with it. It comes with 24 fuel tabs. I ordered a bunch of extra fuel tabs in addition to that. And it's something that you can use for boiling, for heating water, boiling. You need to boil water to reconstitute freeze-dried food. You want to make coffee. You want hot tea. You can use the fuel tabs to heat up a can of something, a ration. And it was a little over $10. You know, I'm not breaking but these things I'm buying, I'm not breaking the bank when I buy them. Smart Girl NYC, thank you for coming in. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. We're into a new weekend coming in, and I go back to work Monday. I actually was starting to prep ARDs. I have ARD committee meetings coming up Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. I've got several of them scheduled. And Mr. Whistle, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I enjoyed my week off. I've been sort of sick. I've been taking medication. I've been taking some over-the-counter chlorocidin. It's for people who have high blood pressure. I went to a gastrointestinal doctor this week and had an appointment to schedule. They scheduled me when I'm off for Christmas break for a colonoscopy. I'm at the age where I should have already had one, but I'm going to have a colonoscopy. The Bud Files, thank you for coming in, the Bud Files. And when I do have my colonoscopy, the latest procedure for that is that instead of drinking some foul-tasting liquids, I have to take a series of these little pills that are about the size of metformin. 12 at 6 p.m., drink water one at a time, take them one at a time, drink water. And then 2 a.m. I have to get up and have to take 12 more. And I have to have all liquids the day before and nothing with dyes or any, So I'm looking forward to that. Not really though, but I'll get that out of the way. And some of the things I've been ordering for Black Friday are coming in. I ordered my wife, and I'll do videos, or I'll do either do shorts or I'll do videos, and I'll do community wall posts showing all these items that I've been getting. Um, but I got my wife a tent. She wanted a tent. We ordered her a tent, a 12-person tent, a new one. The one we have is about 20 years old and it's wearing out, and replace it. And have a great day. Well, thank you. So, um, I bought her or I bought us. Well, I bought her a power station like the Blue Eddy that I did a unboxing of. I did a 7-minute unboxing video. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to look at it. It goes through the features of it. I bought one for my daughter. My wife liked it. She wanted one. They're $198 right now, Black Friday. So I ordered one for her. And then I got a Bouge RV 37 liter refrigerator freezer, 12 volt. And it's got wheels. It's got a handle for carry handle. And, it's a nice unit. I paid less than $300 for it on sale. So I've been buying things. If the power goes out, you want to have refrigerated, cold water, cold milk, sodas. You want to have a freezer section with some stuff in it, or cold stuff in it. Then, having a 12-volt fridge freezer is the way to go. And I will do an unboxing, and I'll show what I got. There was an incident in Ireland, Dublin. An immigrant decided he wanted to stab a bunch of kids. These nutty jihadi types. And they got him. He's in the same hospital with the kids he stabbed. And after that happened, the people of the city, hearing about it, started rioting. I would basically, I'd deport all of them. Their places were in the process of moving to deport them. I'd deport them all back to the Middle East. They had no business coming to Europe in the first place. They had no business coming to the United States in the first place. Let them live. They're so good, and their faith is so good, and where they're from is so good. Let them stay where they're from. And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be hateful or anything. I'm just, scriptures say, judge not lest you be judged. Well, but you got to be a real SOB when you start attacking little kids in the name of your faith. Well, and then Claudia, the other thing about that is that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds, thousands. That's been going on for over 1,000 years with those people. They're, if you could get a translation of their so-called, their religious book, it says all sorts of bad things about non-believers. If you're not a member of their faith, I mean, they basically have the right to do whatever the hell they want to you. And then they try to play it off, and they've got people talking for them to try to play it off, oh no, it's a peaceful religion and all this bullshit, excuse my language. But, anyway, so that happened, and it just so happens my daughter knows her friends, close friends, decided to go on a 1 year anniversary of getting married. They went to Ireland. That's where they landed at, was Dublin, and they're taking a tour. And hopefully they're not in Dublin right now, but it wouldn't be a very pleasant place to be. But see, that's what happens when you go you go out of your area, you go to a different country, whatever. I mean, my daughter wants to take a trip to the Middle East. She wants to go to the Holy Land on a tour with the church. I said, not anytime soon. You don't. I support her, but I put my foot down when it comes to safety matters. And that'd be absolutely stupid going over there right now. I think they've got flights and all. They cut off flights, and they're at war with these people. They're trying to clean them out. Well, they're supposed to go this spring, like in April or May. Somewhere in March, April, or May, but I don't see that happening. Oh well, the church wouldn't go if it wasn't safe. I'm sorry, um, I don't put a lot of credence in a lot of the pastors as far as common sense. You know, Little Lone Prepper, thanks for coming in. Little Lone Prepper in the house. Um, my cousin, uh, you know, little story. I oftentimes will tell stories. The ungrateful peasant. Thanks for coming in, Wayne. I guess my little rant got your attention and you decided to show up. I haven't been by to visit you recently, so I don't blame you for not being by to visit me. And that is true. They have been. They have been. So the story I was going to tell, I owe the cursed jar a buck. Oh, I probably owe the cursed jar a couple of million bucks. Um, I understand, Wayne. I understand. Um, so my cousin Barbara turned 81 earlier this week. She's basically the only living family I have in my wife's side, my mother's side of the family, my wife, my mother's side of the family that I really associate with, or I've got lots of living relatives, but I really don't have anything to do with any of them. I didn't grow up with them. I really haven't had any relations with them at all. Um, but my cousin Barbara, who helped babysit me when I was a baby, she was in college at the time. I'm 61 and she just turned 81. And you know, uh, she went to the Holy Land on a tour, church tour, back probably in the 70s, 50 years ago, 50ish, maybe the late 70s or early 80s, you know, and she enjoyed it. And I've looked at the itinerary. Hello, Verna. I did a replay on one of your live streams. last night. So she went on a nice tour, and my daughter, the itinerary would be very nice. But, well, they're not fighting there. They're fighting 30, 40, 50 miles away. It's not a real big place, you know. And you never know when they get another group of jihadis together that's going to just go try to cause chaos someplace, and they'd love to get a hold of some more Americans. They would just love to get a hold of some more Americans. They have a deal where they're going to release some hostages, some female and children hostages, in exchange for a ceasefire for a few days and allow them to get some fuel and various supplies in that they have worked out. But, there are those of us who feel like sooner or later they're going to hit us here with the open borders, the way things are, and all the, millions and millions and millions of people coming across without no idea of who's coming. They can sneak some people in, sleeper types. Yeah, I'm going to have some leftover turkey. We had a big turkey plate yesterday. I really need to put a picture up on my wall of what my plate looked like. It was a really good meal. And enjoyed it. So now has been the time to be preparing for, if something happens. You need to be prepared in case something happens. And have you have any problems? Well, the incident that happened over in Ireland today, that was an individual, a nut, attacked and stabbed several children. I think there were a couple of adults with them that got stabbed. And apparently somebody got the attacker. He's in the hospital too. It was an immigrant, from the Arab world or whatever you want to call it, and they get radicalized. They have people talk crap to them, telling them, how they need to fight a holy war, to make things right, and, death to the horrible West and all this crap, but they want to come over and live here. Yes, Wayne, the Irish, Hungary, Poland, Ireland, Italy, they've elected a conservative prime minister. A lot of people are getting fed up. If Germany ever gets fed up, if they ever deal with their socialist, you don't want to mess with Germany. But they get to, third of half the damn country was raised socialist under the Russians, the Soviet Union, under the occupation. And after the war, they took big chunks of Germany and gave it to all their surrounding, nations. And some of the people are living there, some moved back into Germany proper. But Germany's not the country it used to be. History lesson time? No, I really don't. I really don't want to be doing history lessons. I'm writing history IEPs for 6th graders right now that I have to have ready for a couple of ARDS Monday. Got one of them ready and prepping the other one. Then I got a couple more later in the week. It's like, oh. you know. But so I'm sorry if I'm depressing you, but let me give you some more stuff to think about. Let me give you some more stuff to think about. The national debt clock, I encourage you to go Google it. We're right at around $34 trillion in debt. And there are reportedly 350 million people in the United States, which, according to the statistics I've read, means each of us owes over $100,000 towards the debt. If we were going to pay off the debt, each person in the United States would need to come up with over $100,000 for their share of the debt. WD Glock and Roll, thank you for coming in. So it's not, that's not pleasant. And then, in addition to that, reportedly, there have been about 10 million illegals coming in the last 3 years under Biden. That's over 3 million a year. The last year of the previous administration, and I will not say that word because I don't want to freak anybody out and send them to their safe place in case they have a safe place. But under that previous administration, they had the Remain in Mexico program that they put in place, which was in place for the last year, and less than 400,000 came in. Now, 400,000, that's a hell of a lot. And if the current administration was averaging 400,000 a year, that'd be about 1.2 million, which is still a hell of a lot, But, they stopped construction on the wall. There was a lot of money that was basically voted. A lot of materials that were purchased to construct the wall, and that froze. And they lost a lot of money. Lost a lot of money that they'd already paid out. Just absolutely, And then the people who are making these decisions, they all live behind walls with security and armed guards and, in compounds of their own. I was looking at something today about Kamala Harris and her husband. She was cooking her Thanksgiving turkey on a gas oven. And aren't the tree huggers wanting to get rid of gas ovens? She has one. Yeah, I know there are more immigrants here than that. Supposedly, there are 50 million foreign-born people living in the United States. I think most of them are probably illegals. 50 million. You know how long it would take to deport 50 million people? I don't, but put me in charge and I'll give it a damn good try. you know? Hateful of me. Oh, I'm hateful. Oh, yeah, I'm hateful. Right. Please, Lord. Please. I'm about midway through. 8 in the house, 13 likes. I've had 15 come through. I guess I've run some of them off. Some people, they come through and they say hello. They stay for a minute and then they take off on you. They're not really interested in what you talk about. Yeah, that's true, Wayne. There were more votes than legally registered voters. And they say there's no proof. Hell, there's been a lot of proof. They just don't want to do anything about it. If they were to overturn the election, well, for one thing, the term is almost over. You got 1 year to go. If they were to want to overturn the election, the nuts would go crazy. you know, and you know, and the nuts that are in charge of those cities and those states will just let them do it, you know. They just let them burn the place down, and then they want to come to our place, you know. When their place is no longer livable, they'll want to come over here, and then they want to start the same crap over here. Well, I'm tired of it too. You know, hell, you know, I'm tired of it too. Um, I'm not super rich. I'm what you'd call middle to upper middle class. My parents were, you know, working class people, had a very good income. My father had a very good income. My uncle had a very good income. You know, they didn't have a college education. I have a college education. They didn't, but it didn't prevent them from making a hell of a lot of money. Hell, they made more money than I do back in the day. If you talk about adjusted dollars, and bad body, not so fit. Yeah, I would probably have a lot more people in my live streams if I shifted over to talking about politics because I am qualified to do so, and I do know a heck of a lot about history and about current the lay of the land. But I really, if anybody really wants to have a talk with me about politics or about history or anything, look at my email address and email me your phone number, and I'll send you a text message when I get a chance, and we can text back and forth, or we can talk on the phone, whatever you prefer. I'll be happy to give you my lay of the land, you know, religious wise and history wise, and I spent the first right at 30 years of my life as a scholar. Um, I have about 300 university hours and 4 degrees from Texas A&M Corpus. Two of them graduate, two of them bachelors. Thank you for putting links up, Claudette. I appreciate it. Claudette is my wing lady today. Creative redundancy. How you doing, creative redundancy? CR. But my take on where we are right now, um, you know, when you start looking at running a business, or you start looking at, you know, even politics or whatever, you've got a spectrum. You've got you've got all the way to the very left, you got all the way to the very right, you've got the center, and most of your people are somewhere 40% either side to the center, you know. So you could say roughly 40% or so are conservatives, 40% or so are, you know, more liberal, and then 20% or more in the middle, and the parties are fighting over that 20%. So when you start looking at, um, you know, another election, and you start looking at polls and statistics, right now you have 60% or so of the population that think Biden's doing a crappy job. Right at 40% think he's doing a great job, but 40% is his base. Those are the hardcore Democrats, or the socialists, or whatever you want to call them now. The ones that support him, the ones that no matter what the hell he does, they're going to say he's doing a great job, you know. And then the other side, you got 40% or so that they're going to be completely the opposite. And what the parties are fighting for are the independents, the so-called independents, the people who may vote depending on who's running, what the topics are, how things are going. They'll vote either way, depending. A lot of times they're very easy. They'll very easily vote for the left. I mean, if you look at some of the past elections, you would have people they voted for the left, and then down the road they get buyer's remorse because they don't want to admit they voted that way when things turn out like shit, like things have sort of been going in that direction now. So you've got people who I'm sure voted for the president who they're not going to admit they voted for him. That's how bad it is, and but like when you're running a business, when you're owning a business and you're running a business, Bert's Beats. Why, thank you for coming in. Let me go to your channel. And let me share you out. I encourage everybody to connect with Bert's Beats. And let me give you a standard moderator. You're now a standard moderator on my channel. Did Guru Dave? Guru snuck in. There's an excellent man. I pray for your health. Continue to improve. And Bert's Beats. I've been watching, for some reason, a lot of your shorts have been coming up on my stream. And I've been watching a lot of shorts of your dog. I like your countdown to Christmas. Oh, you're in Katy, Texas? Okay, well, I'm in Victoria, Texas. I'm a little south of you. Hello, Echo. Thank you for coming in. I ran one of your live streams, young lady. Well, here's a channel for you to connect with Bus Stop if you're still there. So as I was saying, if you're in business, you're in business to make money. And you don't want to offend half of your potential customer base. So let's say you've got a restaurant or another mom and pop type business. You do not want to be saying things or doing things or posting things that are going to offend a good chunk of your potential customers if you want to stay in business. because being in business, you're in business to make money. So, an example of that was there was a restaurant in this tourist place outside of Washington, D.C., some little small place outside of there. And they had, little couple of blocks of stores and restaurants and such. And this was probably in the first year under Trump. His press secretary, who's now governor of Arkansas, Huckabee, um, Huckabee Sanders, I think is her name. And yeah, I went back to teaching myself. I'm a retired 30 years in education, was a principal. That's why I call myself the worked my way up. And I came out of retirement, so now I'm back to teaching. But yeah, I'm teaching middle school. I've got a self-contained unit, so I'm teaching everything. You know, I'm doing right now. I'm doing Texas history and U.S. history part one. You know, seventh and eighth grade, and I'll be getting some sixth graders in. We're getting ready to art a couple of sixth graders into my self-contained unit Monday. So I'll be dealing with that. Bald is beautiful. Ha ha. Take care, Verna. Take care. Yes. Good night, Verna. So, anyway, she goes into this restaurant with her family, and she's got her kids with her. And they sit down and they get their menus, and I think they get their drinks. And then one of these employees recognize who she is, and the waiter or employee or whatever is way over on the left, and feels threatened that she and her family's in there. So waiter goes back and says something to another person in the kitchen. Where there's two or three of them, and they can't handle, Huckabee Sanders being in there, you know, in the restaurant. So they went to the owner and explained to the owner they felt really uncomfortable her being in there. So the owner went over and said, "Hey, my employees, people feel threatened with you being in here. I'm going to have to ask you to leave." And she did it in a nice way, but she says, "Can't really, I'm going to ask you to leave." So when she left and her family left, she did a tweet, or she did a Facebook posting, or she did something other to state that they just got asked to leave a restaurant because they were making the employees feel um, unsafe, or the employees didn't feel right about them being there. So when that happened, people started boycotting. They started picketing. They started boycotting. But not only were they boycotting that store, they were boycotting that little town. And they were boycotting the businesses. And they were raising hell. And it got to the city council. City council got involved. And I think she'd been on the city council, or she was in a position. She had to resign her position. And that restaurant closed. Wound up closing. You cannot afford to offend. It's like Bud Light, You can't afford to offend your middle class beer drinkers. You know, Anheuser-Busch is losing billions and billions of dollars business because of stupidity of their marketing, and they won't apologize. The owner of Anheuser, the heir to the Bush, said they were wrong. They shouldn't have done it. He was sorry about what happened. You know, next board meeting he'll talk to them about it, but they haven't apologized. People are drinking other beers. Yeah, that's one of the things about leaving administration, because I could have came back, probably had an assistant principal's position. They've had openings. I could probably get one if I wanted it. But you got Tuesday and Fridays are game days. Thursdays, usually JV. Um, you're at school right at 10 o'clock tonight. You don't get anything done until school gets out. Then you start doing your paperwork when everybody's gone home. You get 2 weeks off in the summer as opposed to a couple of months. And you're not making that much more money. At least not as an AP. And I already get a retirement check from the state for, education. So, you know. But, things are how they are. I do feel like I should probably say a few things that I normally say. You have a master's degree in CNI. Yeah, coaches, they make money coaching. I have a respect for coaches, and I they have their jobs. I don't like coaches. When I was an administrator, I did not like having a coach in a tested area because I needed 80% teacher and 20% coach, and a lot of times you get 80% coach and 20% teacher. And I used to always, now, if you're wanting me, if I'm in charge and you're wanting me to try to get you to a recognized status at your campus with the state, you want recognized scores, you've got to have strong people in all your testing positions. You got to have that lined up. You've got to have good tutorial programs, and you've got to have everything together. Strong people. And I've known a couple of strong teachers academically that were coaches. A couple. But no. And most schools, they'll have a boys coach and they'll have a girls coach, and they basically teach PE and they coach. Maybe they're teaching health, you know. And but then you get all these additional people that you got to give them athletics period, and they're coaching. And just my experiences, I nothing against coaches, but and I'm not in the position where it matters anymore, and I'm probably should keep my mouth shut. But I really never enjoyed having to have a coach teach an academic subject, at least not a subject that was tested. Where test scores counted. Mike Crusher. Thank you for coming in, Mike. I enjoyed your most recent review, Mike. I like the hair. I think you're trying to copy me. Dark stubble doesn't look good on a bald head. You know, me, if I got a little bit of white stubble up there, you can't really tell. But enjoyed it. If you're not connected with Mike Crusher Reviews, I encourage you to connect to him. He does outstanding reviews, military rations, freeze dried foods, different. He's been doing some foreign ones lately. The people who should be flying the Jolly Roger have been abusing his foreign rations as they come in. They've got a thing about opening rations up and removing components, which to me is just downright communist. Well, that's true. You got to teach them to learn. They got to be able to do the work. You know, they need to know how to the process. And the other thing is nowadays the kids they don't know their multiplication facts. They want to use a calculator. They want to use their cell phone. They can't. They don't know their multiplication facts. And these kids are old enough where I really shouldn't be trying to teach them multiplication and division. They should have learned that back when they were in third, fourth, maybe fifth grade. Um, and that's another thing. You get these people who are generalists. Um, I'm teaching as a generalist. I'm teaching as a the equivalent of a 4-8 generalist, and they want you to be highly qualified. So because I'm self-contained, I'm teaching the 4 core subjects, and I'm also teaching a social skills class for behavior, and I have rec and leisure, which is basically PE or however I treat it. They go over to the gym with my paraprofessionals 1 period a day, which is my conference. And even when I'm on conference period, I usually have a couple of kids in my room. Sometimes I've got kids in my room, so one pair will go over to the PE with the kids, and the other one stays in the room, with the kids. Um, Test 21. Yeah, well, CR, we do a lot of, I do a lot with the kids where we solve for X or we solve for Y, and then I've taught them how to check problems, you know, how to check their answers. You plug in the answer you get into the problem, and then work the problem, and you should get the same on both sides. Yeah. Um, so I always tell people you need to treat people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule: do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. Be quick to say excuse me, please, and thank you. If you sneeze or cough, turn your head and say excuse me. The answer is bless you or surely. Honor your parents. They may no longer be around, but you can honor them by showing you had home training. Be quick to thank those who provide services. Law enforcement, the military, firemen, EMS workers, first responders. They risk their lives and they're not making a lot of money. They're not doing it to get rich. Thank them for their service. Every day when you get up, thank God for the day. You don't know how many days you have. I'm seeing a lot of young people who are dying young. A lot of young people dying young. If you have an addiction to something, get off of it. Try to get off of it. Tobacco, bad news. Heart disease and cancer. Alcohol, heart disease, liver damage, kidney damage. I mean, I'm not saying it to be hateful. I'm just saying that, if you're, get off of it. I've seen the results in my own family. Shortens your life significantly. Learn from others. You don't need to make a mistake to learn from somebody else's. Keep your eyes open, your ears open. Listen. Be cognizant of those around you. Watch your perimeter when you're out and about. Don't let somebody come up from behind you. Be careful. These are trying times. There's a lot of criminals out there. Check to see if you're being followed. FEMA says you need to have a week's worth of food and water, medication. I say at the very least you need to have a month's worth. And I've been through this before, and I've gone through this in videos, and I can recite it. 4 bottles a day. They say about a gallon for consumption to reconstitute food and such. That doesn't have anything to do with hygiene. Doesn't have anything to do with showering or anything. Wash your hands when you go to the bathroom. Wash your hands before you eat. Why, thank you, sir. I will be over to visit your channel some more. I understand you've got a little community that I probably want to connect with. Modern Day Breakfast Club. I need to see about connecting with some of those folks. 19 likes. I'd like to hit number 20. 12 in the house. Yeah, I'm way down on my views. I'm way down on my hours. Since I went back to work, I'm not getting near what I was getting. Right now, I'm sitting at about 1,464, 65 subscribers. I'll be doing a 1,500 subscriber giveaway. If you want to qualify for my 1,500 subscriber giveaway drawing, you need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on the last 5 videos that I have dropped prior to hitting 1,500. Here lately, I've been dropping really short videos, not very long. Been dropping more of them. I like being able to put out a 2-3 minute video as opposed to a minute or less. I like the perspective of a full screen as opposed to, the little shrinking it up, and it really blows what I'm doing out of proportion. If you haven't looked at my recent videos, I encourage you to. It takes you a minute or so to look at each one. Look at my community wall posts. I post good stuff. I've been posting recommendations for preps, prices. I've been shouting out and connecting people on my community wall. Those are all good channels. I encourage you to go and connect with them. Um, Smashing Machine, good evening. Mike, how are you doing? Mike Rise, welcome, welcome. 14 in the house. So, a lot of depressing stuff on with the news, statistics of things going on. Um, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. There is a bill that I think the governor will wind up signing, should be going through, effective December the 1st. It's criminalizing illegals in Texas. Law enforcement, National Guard can arrest them, detain them. It's a felony to, to be here illegally. It's a misdemeanor, but it jumps up into a state felony. And they can imprison them. And trust me, they're going to get the message across. Also, they're actively trying to seal the border. They're trying to seal the openings in the wall. They've been buying some of the components that the federal government's been selling that the previous administration had purchased. And they're using those to try to fill the holes along the Texas border. The government right now is fighting them tooth and nail on everything. And the majority of the people are upset about it. They're you're hostage to the independents. You're hostage to the independents, how they vote. There a bunch of them were willing to vote the wrong way, but when things get as crazy as they are now, they'll vote the right way. They're not completely crazy. They just tend to have bad judgment. I always talk about the Scout motto, which is be prepared. I was a Boy Scout. I learned a lot in scouting. I learned a lot from my father before he passed. And the Scout motto is be prepared. And I tell people always be prepared. And, life is good, but it is what it is. And I tell everybody to always, have a blessed day. Thank God for every day you have. They're numbered. Lead by example. Treat people the way you want to be treated. When I pray for wisdom. You take care, CR. And I will plan on being back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time. I keep saying I'm going to post on my community wall, and I haven't done it in several days. I've had quite a few of my Black Friday purchases coming in. I need to shoot those and put some images up, prep some shorts and a video. I just haven't done it. Right now I'm trying to get ready for Monday. I've got ARDs Monday for special education students that are going to be placed full-time into my unit. Should pick up an extra 4 this week. And I appreciate y'all coming in. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And we will plan on being back tomorrow. Until then, be prepared. And everybody have a blessed day.